is really, really helpful. They're sitting here. When this conversation goes out, a lot of people, young people, will tune in and try to listen to your story, and this will definitely be inspirational for many, many, many students. And did you straight come?
Yeah, I came straight. I came straight to North Lake. But I knew they had a construction program.
Okay.
I also knew they had agreement with A&M Commerce, where if I did follow the degree program, I would transfer over there as a junior and have a opportunity for scholarship. One of the biggest joy that I have is because we don't have anything to say, hey, trust me, or you should come here, or do it with me, or give me the project. Right? None of that. Right? But for some reason, people choose trust that, hey, I want to work with this guy, or I want this guy or his people to do our project. Yeah, right now we have 2 business students. One in transportation. Right? We build roads, bridges, we build airports, we build transit. Right? So we also do other side of the business is water-related infrastructures.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so we build water treatment plants, both fresh water and wastewater.
At one phase of life, there is no balance. You got to go all in. If you want to be successful, either you'll lose health, lose money, lose your mental wellness, something. But you cannot have balance all the time.
But at the fundamental level, it goes inwards, right? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled doing what you're doing? If not, it's going to be miserable.
के थियो बिहानको schedule तपाईको? What does a random Tuesday, Wednesday look like to you?
To me,
see you,
like in normal
a normal day.
So I'm notorious about waking up early in the morning.
Okay.
So I usually wake up around 4 o'clock.
Wow.
But I go to bed early too. So by 9 o'clock, I'm useless.
Oh wow.
Anywho, so I wake up most of the times. First hour or so is about whatever is in my mind. Right. I don't have a very strict.
In the morning?
Yeah, in the morning. So usually I go to bed with something in my mind, just normally. So when I wake up, I tend to wake up thinking about that. So I just spend about an hour. A lot of times it's work related. Most of the time it's personal. Whatever is relevant at that time, I spent. That's my think time. Right? The phone's not going off, email's not going off. Nobody's really bugging me. All the world is asleep, and that's when I think. So that's about an hour. And, I run. Most of the days I go to run. Last year I did a lot of running.
I saw that.
Yeah. But this year I've slowed down a little bit. So my runs are, 3-4 miles. So usually 30 minutes, 45 minutes in the mornings.
Every day?
Just about every day. Yeah. And, I come back, get ready for the day. And, I call it, that's like my morning rituals. I have a physical planner. Although it's on the calendar and all that, so I write it down again in my planner, so that I am setting intentions for the day. And part of that is also a few things that I write about, what I'm grateful for, what I'm excited about that day, and a few of my priorities. So I do that every day. I don't miss it before I leave the house. And my daughter, she's about to be 12, and whenever I'm in town, I take her to school. So yeah, 7 o'clock, 7:15, between 7 and 7:15, the house, drop her to school, and I go to work. And 7 o'clock, by 7, I try to be home. Winter, before it gets dark, I try to be home. And yeah.
Okay. Bianako mentioned about writing. Do you write it on note, device, or do you write it on pen and paper? What kind of person? I'm a pen and paper guy.
Yep.
I always write with pen on paper.
Yep. Yeah. So I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried electronic journaling, on the phone, apps, all that. But I always keep on coming back to my paper. There's something about, on a physical piece of paper writing with a pen.
Yes.
And I don't know, it does something
some
to
kind
my
of
subconscious.
Magic. Yes.
I'm more aware. I'm more intentional, productive, and then I circle back into the day. I actually physically cross some of the tasks on the right hand side, some of the things that I need to do, and I go to revisit too. Like weekly, I can revisit. Anyways, so yeah,
okay. So you go back to read what you wrote?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. You have to. You got to see. how the plan
Okay.
is and
Okay.
how it actually was.
Okay. You saw they got on the head. Did
Every
you
day.
always do this?
Every
Like,
day.
when did you start doing this? Who told you? Like, first, it's kind of mental meditation practice, also accountability practice when yourself, right?
Yeah, this has evolved. Right? I tinker with a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and I do this, and I have all kinds of planner, big planner, small planner, electronic, like all kinds of planners, and as far as when I religiously started doing, it's probably when I started doing business.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion. I even use cards, note cards, like small
Yeah.
flashcards.
Yeah.
And I have a stack of cards. Some cards are just there, and then I was like, no, I like my diary better, so I go back to my diary.
Okay.
So now I'm on my planner that has the gratitude on the left side.
Okay. Yeah, you do a lot of work अनि to create a checklist होला हैन यो काम गरे मैले यो काम गर्न बाँकी छ this is where I need to push more भन्ने I saw your तपाईँको last year को 52 run.
Yes.
That's I think 52 weeks a year. You plan to run every week.
Yep. Yeah, I did 52 half marathons.
52 half marathons.
Of that, maybe 4 or 5 were full marathons. One was ultra. Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, 52.
But just to set out that target, and 52 runs throughout a year means like you cannot miss a week. Probably you did 2 or 3 some week in a single week, right?
Especially towards the end.
To make it 52,
Yeah.
But that shows kind of mental discipline to set out a target and achieve it regardless.
Yes.
And तपाईँको त्यो LinkedIn को caption मा चाहिँ something that stood out for me was like really inspirational was progress through disciplined action. This was the phrase that you put out.
Yep.
And that was really inspiring.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, that's the only thing we have, right, is discipline. You can be smart, you can be talented, but if you're not disciplined in whatever you do,
yes,
right, whatever you do, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Okay. So now we have this big guy talking today. Now, तपाईँको let's go back to the kind of business you run.
Yep.
What pulled you towards construction? Because construction is not an easy business. It's a heavily male-dominated business in the U.S., and it's not even easy for somebody coming out from Nepal or as an immigrant, as a minority.
Yep.
So let's go through your story in your own words.
Okay, where do you want
Your
to start
journey?
this?
You came back. You came to the U.S. as an international student when you were 18.
Yep.
What year was that? And then how was your initial days in the U.S. as a student?
Yeah.
The CEO that we have today.
Well,
before you were a CEO.
Yeah. I'll start at the top. At the beginning of your question, construction, it's difficult, yes. Everything is difficult, right?
Yes.
I say like waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, go to the bathroom is difficult, right?
Yes, it is.
Everything is difficult.
Yeah.
The things that you do is difficult. So there's no, it's like, hey, this is easier, that is hard.
Yeah.
Again, what gets you through is, again, discipline, right? Whatever you pursue, you have to be disciplined, patient, and do the right thing. And hopefully, at the end, you come out better than, how you went in.
Yes.
As far as my journey, so that wasn't the plan. The plan wasn't to come to the U.S., study construction, run my own business. Right, that wasn't the plan.
Studying construction was not in the plan?
No, like
okay.
Early on, early on. Early on was I grew up playing soccer.
Yep.
Right, football.
Okay.
Right, I was decent. I was playing at a club level when I was really young.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, I was playing for Jalakir Youth Club. I played goalkeeper. Obviously, for a Nepali guy, I'm pretty tall.
Yeah.
Especially when you compare against the people who are like 20 years.
Yeah.
Before. So, anyways, I played a lot of at the club level. I played district level and goalkeeper, and I was getting recruited to play for national teams. Right.
Wow.
So, anyways, I enjoyed it. I wasn't great, but I had good reflexes, and I enjoyed it. But then on 11th grade, I blew my knee.
Wow.
I tore my ACL. I was playing in college, and I didn't go to the doctor for 3 months. It's just like, but it get to a point where my knee was buckling.
Wow.
So we had to go to see the doctor, and he scoped it out and said, like, that's it. You cannot play any professional anymore. And during that time, one of my friends mentioned, "Oh, you can go to U.S. and study construction management," right? So that was pretty interesting because I had no idea there was a degree for construction. Right?
Okay.
I wanted to be in, that side of the world, but I didn't know you could study construction management, and that's all I needed. And yeah, I pursued it. I did a lot of research. Came to North Lake. They had a construction program, and they had agreement with Texas A&M Commerce back then, which is East Texas A&M now. So I went there to get my undergrad, and I went to work for a construction company here in Fort Worth. That was 2000. I came here in 2003. I graduated 06, 07. I started working, and I worked for them for almost 10 years.
Oh, wow. You worked for them for 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah. I did a couple of internships meanwhile while I was in college. Then
I saw you did internship with McCarthy. That's a big company too.
Yeah, it is. It is one of the biggest 140, 50-year-old company.
Yes.
I call it like one of the true great American builders, right? They have great history. They built some of the great projects. I still have fond memory of working over there. I did 2 semesters internship there. Learned a lot. I still have a lot of relationships from those days. Still to this day. But yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, the story of your evolution is this. I think it's extraordinary. It needs to be told. And the reason, a lot of Nepali youths, I come as a first generation in a lot of things I do, and then I've seen people always try to learn from people doing better. And I saw that for a lot of people like me, they come out as students. You yourself came as a student, made your own path. You had your own learnings along the way. But for somebody like me, who's trying to learn, trying to improve, this coming close to people like you, listening to you, learning from your lessons, from your history, that is really, really helpful. And I think if we are sitting here, when this conversation goes out, a lot of people, young people, will tune in and try to listen to your story, and this will definitely be inspirational for many, many, many students. And I just want to start where you the reason why you wanted to study construction management. I read somewhere that your parents, not your parents, but your father particularly was an engineer. Your sister went to become an architect, and you come from a family with a lot of engineering and construction legacy. How was your, where you did your parents want to be in engineering, construction? What was the reason? Or you just saw them working in construction and you're just motivated?
I can't, it's really hard, to be honest, to point to say like, hey, this was the time when I decided this is what I wanted to do, right? But yeah, I worked for my dad very early on. In Nepal, we have winter breaks, right? Like we have summer breaks. And, one of his mottos was keep busy, right? He did not want to see us idle. We were 3 siblings, older sister, me, and my younger brother. So every winter break, right, we were doing some kind of activities. I was learning taekwondo or arts, painting. So we went to a lot of different classes, and on top of that, he would encourage me to come to his office. Right, so from very early on, I went to his office. So I got to see the things that was being done there. I didn't think of much back then, but now looking back, all those experiences shaped me to who I am, right? Definitely. And it wasn't really glamorous things, but they were pretty good about designing homes and building homes. A lot of designing, but I really didn't get a lot of pull on the design side. To be honest, I didn't care for the paint or what kind of hardware you have on the door. But I do get excited about building massive structures that move people. Right. And for some reason, I always had that pull of making those designs come to life.
So mostly residential construction was going on in Nepal.
Yeah, back home. That my exposure with my dad at least was in the residential construction side. Okay.
Now, how did the education go in the U.S.? Did you come to the U.S. and felt like, okay, this is the kind of degree I wanted to have? And once
to be honest, I never came to US or even to come to US or go to school or have education to learn, right?
Okay.
At first, that's the pathway to come here, right?
Yes.
That's just what you do,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Growing up in Nepal, I'm
Yes.
sure there's that expectations, right?
Yes.
Oh, you have to choose early. You want to go science or you want to commerce?
Yeah.
You want to go arts, right?
Yeah.
And your society kind of forces you to
Mhm.
go to like at least science,
Yeah.
right? And obviously, I'm not doing biology, right? So going to the physics route, and then because that gets your options open,
Yes.
and I was good enough to pass those classes, right? And then coming here, I did not do any. I came to North Lake Community College.
Did you straight come
Yeah,
to
I came
North
straight.
Lake?
I came
wow.
straight to North Lake, right? And but I knew they had a construction program.
Okay.
I also knew they had agreement with A&M Commerce, where if I did follow their degree program, I would transfer over there as a junior, and have a opportunity for scholarship. So I was good in that sense, but not so much on academics. So when I came here and went to school, it was to stay legal, not to. Right,
Yeah.
not to really. I'm
Yeah,
going to
and
do great
culturally
things.
also, we are always told to be in school. You know,
Exactly.
Whatever you
So-
decide to do,
so-
just be in school.
Yeah,
You
so
can-
it was never in my thought. It's like, oh, I'm going to, drop out at high school.
yeah,
Like here, at first I was shocked when I heard like, oh, I'm a high school dropout, or I'm going to take I'm not going to go to college.
yeah.
Like I was like,
No.
oh, is that an option? Right?
Yeah.
That was one of my first.
That's not a
shocks.
cultural option. Yeah,
Right, yeah. It's like you're expected to go to,
Yes.
at minimum grad school. You're
Yeah.
a good student, you're a bad student, you like to study, you don't like to study, right? That's just, you just go.
Yeah, yeah.
Fortunately, right? Not everyone, but at
Yeah.
least, in our environment. So that, so there was always that consciousness of, you need to get your undergrad at least from early on.
Yeah.
So it was never an option. And yeah, so that's what I pursued.
But once you got into, you got your degree, you had internships going on at one of the best construction firms in the U.S., and then you also had this, job where you worked for 10 years. When usually people, land those kinds of opportunities where you could just remain a good employee and you could live a pretty decent life. What made you, take the not the usual path, and be an entrepreneur, start something on your own? What was the spark in you?
Well,
Reason?
I wouldn't say spark.
Yeah.
The big part of it was, my daughter being born, to be honest. Here I am, 30 years old, right? My daughter is born. Just bought a house. Had spent everything that I had to put 5% down, right? And then this feeling of what the hell am I doing in my life, right?
Yeah.
Now I have a little one. That's my responsibility. Good life, right? We call it American dream, whatever you want to call it. Comfortable. I was very close to the owner of the company that I was working for. Good career path, very stable. But I look forward 20 years, nothing has changed, right? And it was very painful. It was very painful to think, you come 10,000 miles away, right? Leave everything that you know, everybody that you, right, love and respect, family, friends. You give up a lot to be here, and just to be mediocre, right? Just to be in that rat race. I was like, man, come on, that's not what I came here for.
Come on, yeah,
right.
come on,
and
yeah.
then it was a process, right? It was a process. It took about 6 months to really internalize that, and the more I internalized, the more painful it became to kind of be where I was and not make a change, right? And I have two choice: either suck it up, right, and then live in that coulda, shoulda, woulda, right, and spend that 10 years, 20 years, and be 40, 45, 50, and look back and say like, dang it, I didn't even give me a shot. Or, right, take a chance, right, take a chance and see what you could do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's the journey that I'm in right now, and that's the pursuit. And
Yeah, you're still in the journey. Yeah.
yeah, we're still scratching the surface. So
Oh.
yeah, so yeah, that's at the end of the day, I didn't have any business plan. I didn't have any capital backing substantial, especially in our business, the type of work that I do. Other than the pain, right? The pain of where I was.
Yes, and then before you started out this construction firm, I found it online that you started a clothing store that was also called Urban.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the origin of Urban.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was the
yes,
origin.
Yes.
And now, okay, let's go back to the story. Why did you choose to do this a retail store? And when was this? Was this while you were doing a job? Were you maintaining this part-time work?
Yeah. So honestly, that was my wife's.
Okay.
Right. So we got married. Right.
When did you get married?
So we got married in 2011.
That was how old were you?
It's 28.
20. Okay.
28. Yeah. We got married, and so me and my wife, we met here.
Yeah.
And she went back. Right after graduating, she went back. I stayed on, and a couple years later, we ended up getting married, and she comes back.
Okay.
Right, and she wanted to not go to work. Right, she was like, I want to do something on my own. And she was like, oh, this store is for sale. And I know how this store works. I know the owner. I think we can do it. And it's the same story. Like, we didn't have any money. We've never ran a business in the U.S. But she was convinced that
she could do it.
Yeah, this we can do it. Yeah. So we got into the store, and we renamed the store to Urban Colors. It was a different name, and the Urban was because we sold urban streetwear clothes, right? Tall tees and it's pretty interesting choices, but it was a good business. But I learned a lot in that business. I learned a lot about the basics, how to make work, right?
Yeah.
How the fundamentals of the business works, and we did a lot of good things out of that business.
Was this your first ever business that you handled?
Yes.
Operation-wise, yeah.
Operations-wise, but we had several other things we dabbled on.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was the origin of the word urban. And
how did you get this word? Like, were you thinking, okay, this doesn't work, I'm gonna go into construction, name the shit?
No, that's the last thing that was on my mind, right? Urban, again, like I said, the clothes that we sold were urban streetwear.
Yeah.
Right. So it just made sense to name it urban, to be relevant, right, to what we sold, and I liked it. It resonated with what we did.
Really cool name, urban.
Yeah. It's urban, and there were a lot of colors, right? So bright colors, and it was personal, right? That name became personal, and I started getting into construction.
Was it your choice or her choice to name it to name it Urban, the clothing store? Did you guys mutually decide it?
Oh, I think I don't remember, but I think it was me.
Okay.
I think it was me because the previous name was very, distinct.
Okay.
So we decided to change the name. But yeah, so then when we decided to do construction, I was very, I like the name. Very, very lucky name for me, for us, but also, when it comes to do the type of construction that I do, right? It's very urban. It's moving people, right? It's moving people from, where
place to place
to where we are, and a lot of times to get in the urban setting. So it was very, I found it very relevant to kind of continue with that name. So I stick with that name.
And then once you started this own, maybe at some point you closed, or the store is still there?
No. We kept it for a few more years.
Okay.
And at some point it just became, didn't make sense to continue to do both. And then we decided to not even sell the store. We closed it, and whatever inventory we had, we during one of the Christmas parties for our guys, we just laid all the clothes out and told them have at it, and everybody went bananas. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. There were guys walking away with 55-gallon trash bags full of clothing, and some of the stories that came back after a few months, it was their Christmas shopping.
Yeah,
they didn't have to do the Christmas shopping. They, because it was good clothes, right?
Yeah,
new, and I didn't want to sell it. A lot of emotional attachment to what we did and what it meant, and it felt fitting. The way all the merchandise got
Yeah.
got used from value we got out of that. So it was a pretty unique story for us, at least
Yeah.
for me.
And before you started this brand new Urban Infraconstruct, that's how you named it, right?
Yeah.
This is also online, so you can correct me whenever I get it
Yeah.
wrong. But you were working on some project, and they were just overwhelmed with the work, and you picked up on one of the niche areas in the working, and that's how you got your first job. And how did you get your first job? Let's begin there.
Oh, the first contract?
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
contract, or how did you what was the first job that you did with Urban?
Yeah, yeah. So, so this was still when I was working, right? Where I was working. So the gentleman that I knew, every time I met him, he had challenges with, flat work. So it's in Frisco. So it was a brand new subdivision, and like in front of the homes neighborhood, you have to put the sidewalks, right?
Yeah.
Handicap ramps. So it was a lot of challenge. He was facing a lot of challenges to do those sidewalks and handicap ramps. Simple work, but somebody has to do it and do it right.
Yeah.
And that was our first project. Every time I met him, he had challenges, and I'm like, I can do that for you, and but I didn't have any money, so we worked out a deal to where he was buying all the materials, he was paying us every week, and we just kind of built up upon that. But that was the first contract.
Yep. And then how was the story? How did it evolve for you? How did you didn't have any capital, so you how was the initial years of struggle, if we have to talk about now?
I wouldn't call struggle. Just like when you first
initial
come here.
realities.
Just like when you first came here, a lot of people ask me, "Oh, how was the first years? How do you adapt?" It was like you have no choice, right?
Yep.
When you make up your mind that you're gonna make it work, it's not about it's hard, difficult, failure. None of those exist.
Yeah.
Right. You're looking at how to make it happen. How to make it happen. Like when we first came here, I was 18 when I came here, right? I didn't know anyone, but a lot of people came forward to help, right? And people showed up, right? People showed up at the right times, right? That's how it was when I first came here, and it was the same. Just magic happened. It was magic. If I have to look back, all those things that had to happen when it happened and the way they had to happen, you cannot write it up. I shit you not. You could not write it up, right? But it happens. But I had to be ready for it, right? I had to put in the hard work. I had to do the right things along the way. But, man, magic happens. And that's what happened. A lot of people from nowhere showed up. And then one thing led to another, and you just start stringing it together and continue on that and, look back and there's 10 years, right?
Yep.
So, for me, it's still the same, right? It's still the same.
Yep.
We're still making adjustments. We're still, doing things that make sense, right? And you still let your values guide you and not do stupid thing along the way, and try to take care of your people, try to take care of your clients, do what you say you're gonna do, and when it doesn't go that way, and you correct it, and then you do it again, and just like any other business, it's the same.
Keep learning.
Yeah, keep learning, keep adjusting, and keep and not get complacent, right? Not get complacent, right? Because when you start feeding yourself, whatever, then that can get in your mind, right? And how do you protect your mind from that? How do you keep that intensity or that curiosity and the hunger and desire that that got you here? Because we didn't need to come here, right? All of us that came here, we didn't have to come here, right? I mean,
not
necessarily, right? Yeah, I mean, in grand scheme of things, like basic things, like family for a lot of us, right? Our community, right? Everything that we know, good, bad, ugly, more or less, it's all relative things, right? But the basic humanity of the things that you need, we had there at home, right? But for whatever reason, we chose to come here.
Bigger ambitions, maybe?
Of course, right? Everybody's got different reasons for wanting to make that change, right? And somewhere along the way, we forget that, right? We forget because we let other things influence us and say like, oh, this is enough, or I've made it, or right? Or too much, whatever that is, right? We let all those things affect, and and then change is probably not the right word, but we get complacent.
Yes.
Right.
We get
And
like, I'm satisfied, I'm
Exactly.
good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't be comfortable.
Exactly.
We
So
get comfortable.
we have to be, at least for me, I try to be very true to that unknown, that naivety that
Yes.
got me here,
Yes.
that got me moving from there to here. To
Always hungry.
Every step. Exactly. And where we're gonna get, who knows,
Yes.
right? But that's the pursuit.
Yes.
So,
So, when you started this, definitely a few years, probably struggles are that they're definitely building any business is
Sure.
gruesome. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of sacrifice. When was the first time, you probably landed a decent job, you completed it, finished it, and you was like, yes, now this dream is working. When was the moment?
Man,
This feeling strong.
honestly, I don't think I have that feeling yet.
Okay.
Right. But my first project, right, I was there when I was literally physically there, backing up the concrete truck and dumping the concrete, right? Because I was so excited. The adrenaline was so high of like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is happening.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
Right?
yes.
Right? So I still remember that day. I delete a lot in my memory. Right? There are a few things that stays in my memory. One of them is the day I went to do my interview. Like, I was convinced.
For visa?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
visa, right?
Yeah.
That day, I still remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I was convinced. Here I am going for community college, right? Getting it's unheard of in Nepal, right?
Yeah.
Especially back then.
I didn't know.
Yeah, especially back then. And a lot of people told me, you're crazy. You're not gonna get a visa for a community college. But in my mind, right, it was already done.
Yeah.
Right. So when I showed up and I got the visa, right. So it was one of those moments, right, that I remember very vividly, backing the concrete, the sound of the concrete coming down the chute and putting on the ground. That I would say that was very, very exciting times. But ever since then, it's been the pursuit, man. It's been the pursuit of
Yes.
continuing to, improving upon it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Being consistent about
Yep,
it.
yep.
And now you run a good size company. It's a fast growing company. There are a lot of I was reading a lot of news about your company being listed to INC 5000 list. That's that needs a proof of evidence that the company has been growing in terms of revenue consistently over the years.
Yep.
That was a great achievement.
Yep.
So, how do you define growth? How is it? How does it feel like running a company for you? How do you set the culture? Working, building an American company as a Nepali and working with a lot of people. How is handling this size of growing company for you? What has the experience been like?
It's been very gratifying, to be honest. And, to be honest, like, all those things didn't go in my mind. I like to keep things simple, right? The reason I started was because I wasn't happy what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
And I thought I could do more, I deserved more, and I wanted to try.
Yes.
Right. That was at the core of it. It wasn't about, I want to build this, be the fastest growing company, one of the biggest in North, in my space in North Texas. It wasn't any of that. Right?
Yep.
It was just wanting to change where I was and not getting too distracted, trying to do too many things. Right. And that was it. So culture is the same. We have core values, which is really what my values a lot of times, and then it attracts the people, right, that resonate with that. Right. Early on, it was, how fast can I go?
Yep.
Right. Well, I'll back it up. Early on, it was, right, when I was, having that 6 months of internalizing the pain. Right.
Yes.
Can I convince myself that I can do it? Right. That was the first. And then when I met the person who gave me the contract, can I convince somebody that they can trust me to give me the work, right? And then hiring people, right? Can I convince these four guys at the first that that they can come work for me and that I would pay them every week, right? So that's the fundamental,
Yes.
right? And then from there on,
Do it right.
Yeah, do it right, and then from there on, like, can I continue to build upon it, right?
Yes.
Can I continue to build
Yes.
upon it? And what is important, right? The trust, the integrity, right? All those things, never giving up, the persistence, all those things, right? At the deeper level, regardless of you're just starting out or you're 100 years old, the fundamentals are the same, should
Yes.
stay the same,
Yes.
has to stay the same.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're not going to exist,
Mm-hmm.
right? So those are just the things as we continue to, at least in my journey, going from 3-4 to over 300-400 people, is those fundamentals are still the same, and it will continue to stay the same,
Yes.
and has to stay the same in my mind.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna get lost.
What are the three things that that excite you the most about running a construction company, construction business? What are the things that attract you the most on a personal level?
Obviously, it's like you can see it, right? You can see it. I mean, it's right here. Especially the type of construction we do, like
Yep.
it's staring at you. One of the projects that we're currently doing is in San Antonio, I-35, NEX. We've been down there for over 3 years. We're elevating I-35.
Okay.
It's massive. You see how you're going through downtown
Yes.
Austin. 35 is elevated.
Yes.
We're doing the same thing down in San Antonio. We're working around the clock. Right? We have folks working at night. We have folks, working the day. Big machines, massive structures. So when I go down there, especially going from here when you're driving, you pass that IKEA and go down. You see the bridge doing this, and you're driving through it. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's insane. That feeling that you
can
get.
physically see
Oh
it.
yeah, and not just the structure itself, right? Like especially for somebody like us, right, coming
Yes.
from a place like Nepal, and what impact it can create in a community,
Yes.
right? Being able to move right from here to San Antonio in 5 hours, less than 5 hours, right? We're making an impact in people's lives,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
People trying to go to doctor, people trying to go to school, right? Positively,
Yes.
right? People like over the weekend going to a ball game or going to see the grandparents.
Yes.
It's
Moving people.
it's moving people, right?
Yes.
It's very powerful when you think like that. And a lot of people that work in construction are immigrants,
Yes.
right? A lot of them are immigrants,
Yep.
and we're improving their lives too,
Yep.
right? Through the work that we do, and it gives a lot of satisfaction, being able to positively impact people's lives who believe in the dreams that we shared, right? And a lot of folks don't have crazy goals, right?
Yeah.
They just want to provide for the family, have safe roof over the in the homes,
Yep.
give good education for the kids, right? And they're willing to work their butts off, right? In Texas heat, Texas cold, right?
For the American dream.
Yeah,
right?
and then to be able to do it like together and
Yes.
and then solve those kind of urban problems, it gives a lot of joy.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of joy, and it just it's very difficult to explain all the things that we do, right? To say like, hey, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to pursue, this is how we want to pursue, and to win it, right? And win it, build it successfully, safely.
Yep.
Do a good job, right? And then do it again.
Yes.
And in terms of like how the market shifts, how the competition shifts,
Yep.
and then and respond to that, and a lot of times stay ahead of that.
Yep.
And that's where it's fascinating.
Yes, and drive the business as a you have to take a lot of decisions, a lot of business choices as a business leader, because at the end of the day, a lot of people's earnings, their bread and butter, their homes, their security, it all depends on the kind of choices you make as a
their
as a
dreams,
leader.
their dreams, and there's a lot of joy in
Yep.
being able to facilitate that, right? I mean, everybody's got their own battles, their fights,
Yep.
right? But being able to facilitate that,
Yep.
and I take a lot of joy going back to like how it feels, for a kid coming from Nepal. That's probably one of the biggest joy that I have is because we don't have anything to say, hey, trust me, or you should come here, or do it with me, or give me the project, right? None of that, right? But, for some reason, people choose trust that, hey, I want to work with this guy, or I want this guy or his people to do our project. Be able
That's
to do
something.
it. Yeah, be able to do it,
Yep.
right? I mean, that's meaningful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in running any successful business, I mean, at your scale, we're doing things at large scales. What are the challenges? I mean, we can randomly talk about, as a business perspective, what are the challenges that a business faces at the highest level, or we can be specific about construction business too. I mean, what are the challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
Running a company successfully.
They're external, internal, right, and internal battles that
personal,
you have.
yes.
Personal
Comes in the way of your business.
Oh, of course, everything is personal.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be. So, again, the biggest one is, can you be true to yourself?
Yep.
Right. At the end of the day.
Yep.
Right. Is this something that you believe in?
Yes.
Right. Because it doesn't matter what you do. You're building bridges, or you're running a studio, or you're running a tea cart. Right. At the end of the day, the fundamentals are the same.
Yes.
Right. Do you feel fulfilled? Does it bring joy to you? Right. Are you solving problems? Right. And are you doing it with people that you want to do it with?
Yep.
Right. Because this is not something you do for fun. Right. This is something you do for a living.
Yeah.
And people depend on it. Right.
Yeah.
Their livelihoods depend on it.
Yeah.
Their families depend on it.
Yes.
Right. So
yes,
it doesn't matter how
and
big,
when it
how
comes
small.
to construction, I mean, the biggest country in the world, its economy depends on the transportation network.
Yep. Yep.
Like it's the economy that you're building. It's
not just the economy, right? Right now we have two business units. Right? One is transportation, right? We build roads, bridges, we build airports, we build transit, right? So we do a lot of that in moving people, right, or in transportation in general. But we also do other side of the business is water-related infrastructures.
Oh yes,
yeah. So we build water treatment plants, both freshwater and wastewater. It's the same over there. After air, it's water.
yes,
Right. And we all know how North Texas is growing. The state of Texas is growing.
yeah,
It's a big problem.
Yep.
Right. And to be able to solve that problem, it's a big deal.
and these are public infrastructures,
Yes.
basically funded by public money.
A lot of it. Some of
you
it not just public, but a lot of it is funded by public dollars.
Yep.
Yep. And it's a fun business.
This is serious work,
Yes.
but it's good you take it as you enjoy the process, and that's more important.
And
than,
at the end of the day, it's the people in it, right?
yes,
I know you're into policies. There are a lot of things going on behind the scenes on how a roads gets built, right? How
Yes.
it gets funded, how it's get appropriated,
yes,
right? State of Texas, don't quote me on this, but apparently there's over 6,000 legislatures, that goes to Austin every year, and of that, how many of those gets funded to the construction?
yes,
And how do you make sure this infrastructure that is needed gets appropriate funding? That's very interesting, very fascinating, and then those become your responsibility too to make
Yes.
sure it's handled well.
yep,
So there's a lot of side to the business, but at the core, coming back to your question, at the fundamental level, it goes inwards, right? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled doing what you're doing? If not, it's gonna be miserable.
And as a business leader, you're running your business successfully, and speaking for yourself or the company that you're leading, what are the key traits, key characteristics, key things that a business leader should be mindful of? In your perspective.
What are things we should be mindful
Characteristics or value systems or a successful leader should carry, to keep his team members happy, maybe to keep the clients happy?
of? fundamental, you should be disciplined, right?
Yes.
It can be you're chasing the shiny object all the time,
Yep.
right? And you need to be able to deliver on the promise. At the fundamental level, you need to be able to deliver on the promise you make, right? You need to be able to solve the problem. Business does not exist if you're not solving a problem, right? That's the fundamental, right?
Yep.
And then how well you do, right?
Quality.
Yeah, quality or consistency, right? The communication,
Reliability.
commitment, reliability, like all those things, comes with it.
Yeah.
At the fundamental, it is: are you able to solve somebody's problem and do it well, right? And hopefully, and make money, right?
Yep.
Because business is for profit.
Yep.
Right? You're not running a charity, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you have to be able to create value,
Yeah.
right? Add value,
Yep.
and be able and know how to recognize your fair share, right, of the value that you create,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
that's the other side of it. Is like you need to understand the economics of that equation, which is not complicated, right? Which is not complicated, but again, can you keep it simple enough to understand problem, right, and your ability to solve the problem,
Yes.
and the value of the services or the goods that you provide to solve that problem, and your share of it, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. It's really basic, right? If you keep it at that level, and as you scale, can you scale it in that so that you're not damaging that equation,
Yeah.
right?
One thing that you did not know before doing business, I mean, a construction business or any kind of business, and you learned something along the way,
Sure.
and that forever changed the way you looked at things. Is there an incident or a particular example of things, when you're like, oh, I never thought this way? Maybe a tip for from a friend or a mentor, or your own realization that you never consider that way about business?
There are a lot of things.
We're here to learn. It's a class today.
There are a lot of things, right? At first, like I said, it was like, hey, can I convince myself to do it? Can I convince these people, right? And then you get into this mode, right? And then
Yes.
you go. And next thing you know, like you're working 15, 16, 18 hours. It's crazy. You're having a lot of fun. But you can only do so much, right? And then you become a bottleneck, right? So that is very interesting, because when you're in it, it's very difficult to see, right?
Yeah.
When you're in the forest, right, it's very difficult to see.
Yeah.
But looking back now, it's so evident. But and then you decide to continue, right, in that journey, right, to continue to grow, right. You have to basically reinvent yourself.
Yep.
Reinvent the company. Like what worked at 4 people or 20 people or even 70 people, 80 people, right? It does not work when you're trying to scale.
Yeah.
Right? When all the decisions run through you and you're, beyond imagination, wildly successful, right? And you want to continue to pursue, at the end of the day, you only have 24 hours.
Yep.
Right? And you're working 17, 18, 6 days a week, 7 days a week.
Yep.
And you want to continue to pursue. There's nothing else you could do than kill that and then recreate it, right? To where now you're building a system that is not dependent on you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
To make that transition, to have that recognition, and then ability to make that transition.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Right? I had no idea that was even a thing. Right? We're still in that journey, but you look at it now. It's it's an interesting time to have to build a system, right? That's not dependent on me.
Yep. I read this somewhere. I don't know where actually or who this quote is from, but the quote was like, many people work in their business, but building a business is different from working in your business. So the way you mentioned system, it sounded like building a business that can sustain, work, function, and also maybe potentially grow without your, daily reinforcement or
Yep.
you being physically
Yeah. They call it like working in the business or working on the business, right?
On the
They
business,
said like, hey, you
yes.
should be working on the business,
Yes.
not in the business. And
Okay.
we have to take those things with a grain of salt, right? We
Yes.
cannot say like, oh, I should not be doing this. I should be working on the business. No, there are times where you have to get in the business,
Mm-hmm.
get in the nuts and bolts. But that recognition of when that is, and when you're the bottleneck, right? And
remove yourself out of the way sometimes.
exactly. A lot of times, when you, especially when you're a founder, right?
Yes.
You touch every aspect of the business, right? You're like, in my case, me and my wife, we taught ourselves how to do QuickBooks, right? We ran our own payroll. We did all our invoicing with, you name it.
Yes.
Right? We did it all. So
Yep.
like every chartered account we knew,
Yes.
right? Which file was where, like nuts and bolts, right? And as you grow, you can't.
Yes.
You physically can't.
Yes.
And if you do, then you're on your own way,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Right. But also, you do need to get into those nuts and bolts every now and then.
Yep.
You can't drink that Kool-Aid all the time, saying like, oh, I should be working on my business, not on my business.
Okay.
Yeah, we should be asking that question of what does that mean in my context,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
If the sky is falling and you're telling yourself, oh, I should be working on my business, not in my business,
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta go in and
you have to do whatever.
you
it
have
takes,
to do
right?
whatever it takes.
Now, don't be the bottleneck, right?
Yes,
That means
don't be the bottleneck, just-
right? That's
yeah.
I think for me, the way I interpret it is, don't be the bottleneck,
Okay.
right? You shouldn't be the one calling all the shots.
Do everything that it
Right.
takes. It's
over a period of
simplified.
time. Yeah, over a period of time, build systems, get certain things out of the way,
Yes.
right? And then you really, like in my case, I realized there's certain things I'm really good at, certain things I'm horrible.
Yeah.
So those things that I'm horrible at, it makes no sense for me to continue to do it
Yep.
when I can hire somebody way smarter than me,
Yep.
right? Who would do it 10 times better than me. Why the hell am I like
On their
holding
way,
it,
yeah.
holding it close to my chest?
Yep.
Let go, right? A lot of founders have that syndrome of holding it because, oh, it's my baby. Oh, I started this. Oh, I know it best. I'm sure you know it best, but you'd be shocked how much others can do it well, and it will free you.
Perfect. And another, when we were talking about young people and businesses starting out business, there's this quote from I heard it from Obama, and he was like, "There's sometimes we look for balance. You sound like a person you show up at work at some time and then you leave office, and then you always have time to complete your morning rituals, and you have a strict time to go to bed, and then." You have a very kind of disciplined and balanced life. And there was a quote when at some point of time when you are working towards something, at one phase of life, there is no balance. You got to go all in. If you want to be successful, either you'll lose health, lose money, lose your mental wellness, something. But you cannot have balance all the time. But what do you suggest? What is your say on this?
I think that's the wrong question.
Okay.
I think it's an illusion. I don't
Okay.
think it's meant like that, right? The way I look at it is, it's not either or,
Okay.
right? It coexists, right? Your personal life, your professional life, your dreams, your aspirations,
Yep.
right? They coexist. They need to coexist. Like for me, the way I look at it is, there's a flow, right, between my work life, my personal life, right? My priorities are clear, right? I have clarity on my priorities, and then those things between my priorities, in and outs are very seamless. That doesn't mean like, oh, I have to be at work at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. At times I have,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I've stayed late, right? But when I need to
But,
go
yeah.
to my daughter's event at school, I drop everything. I go, right?
Yes.
Because that is my priority.
Yes.
Right? When my wife calls me like, hey, I need you here, I drop everything and I go there,
Yep.
right? And it doesn't happen all the time,
Yep.
but when it happens, right?
Yes.
The recognition of that what is important at that moment
Yep.
is there, and we need to be able to, in my mind, flow between that.
Yes, balance again. Like understanding what
like the
matters.
work-life balance, right?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
the word.
Yep.
Oh, there needs
Yep.
to have work-life balance.
Yep.
You need to take care of your health,
And
because
other
if there is no
priorities, yeah.
health, there's nothing, right? Both physical and mental,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And for that you need rest, right? You cannot. It's not sustainable to work 18, 20 hours every day for a
Yes.
sustainable amount of time. It's just,
Yep.
I don't
Can't,
think
yeah.
you can't, right? So you need to have the recovery,
Yeah.
right? And then there's a lot of trade-off because of that, right? That means not going out on Wednesdays, right?
Yep.
Not staying up till 1:00 drinking,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Again, those are the choices that you need to make,
Yes.
regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
And then you do it over a period of time, consistently, then you get the results.
Yep.
So, yeah, for that reason, I think the perspective, at least I choose to look at it from different lenses than the word balance.
Okay.
But if you're like, you're burned out, you're burned out.
Yep.
Yeah, I go away,
Yep.
right? If I feel like I'm burned out, I go away. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disengage. Sometimes I just go home
Yeah.
early. Sometimes I leave town. I go away for 2-3 days.
Yeah. And so don't over engage, overdo anything in a way that it becomes unhealthy.
Exactly.
Just-
And
yeah,
then everybody's
yeah,
got
yeah.
their own ways.
Yep. There is no perfect way to do.
No, there is no
Yeah.
ABC. You do ABC
Yeah.
and you get XYZ.
Yeah.
I don't think we can fit in a box.
Yep. But like you mentioned, internalize, just understand yourself,
Yes,
whatever
exactly.
works for you the
Yes.
best.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
Exactly. But you do have to be, in that context of, you do have to commit,
Yep.
right? The way I interpret that message is, you do have to commit, right? You do have to have that mindset of, no matter what,
Yes.
right? Things gonna come, things gonna happen.
Yes.
He's gonna quit. She's gonna quit. They're gonna cancel the contract. Sky's gonna fall. Bomb's gonna drop. Right. All those things are gonna continue to happen. Right.
Yeah.
And then, despite of all those, it
Stick
doesn't
to
matter.
your promise.
Stick to your promise. It doesn't
Yes.
matter and it's not just like when you're in your business, right?
Yeah.
It's the way of life, I think. Even if you're working.
Yeah,
for
to be
somebody else.
successful, I think, like you mentioned, I think
Yeah.
it demands same set of
Exactly.
principles or
Yeah, athletes the same way,
yeah,
right? I mean, you just have to commit and give your best, give your all.
yeah,
I mean, and do it consistently.
Yes.
Right? Not only when you want to do,
yeah,
it's when you don't want to do.
Yep.
Right? Can you get up and do it? Can you move yourself
yep,
during those times? Everybody would do it when they feel like, but when you don't feel like, how do you get yourself to, move towards that direction?
And now beyond your college education and your business, you've been involved with a lot of leadership training. You went to Harvard. You can again correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
to complete a
did-
degree.
Yeah, I did a small program there.
Yeah, but that shows that you're consistently exposing yourself to environments where you can network better, do better,
Yeah.
learn,
Yeah.
engage. You're basically investing in yourself, in your growth.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you about
Yeah.
that. Like, what pushed you? Hey, I should join YPO. A lot of people don't know about YPO. You can maybe elaborate about what YPO is,
Yep.
what value it brings to you, what meaning it adds to your life or your career, the way you do what you do.
Yep.
What is YPO? What did you choose to go Harvard? What did you did there?
Okay, that's
These are things you're
Okay.
doing outside of your business.
Yeah,
That's to say that, hey, I'm gonna do this, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna limit myself to being a construction business owner.
Yep.
I'm more than that. I'm a business leader. Yeah, as a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. So I'll try to answer one by one.
Okay.
Going to doing Stagen or going to Harvard and continuing education. Right?
You can maybe elaborate on
Yeah.
what those institutions
Yeah.
or programs
Sure.
are as well
Yeah.
to the viewers.
Yeah, sure. So I've done several. So Stagen is a leadership here in Dallas.
Mhm.
It's a 1 year. The program at least that I did was a 1 year program, where it's a cohort and a lot of C-suite folks from big companies gonna go and do a lot of soft skills, so to say. So that's Stagen. So the reason I did those is, a little bit going back towards, early education. All those early education, I did not go to school to learn. I went to school early on because my parents it, right? You have to go to school, right? And then I go into school here because that was my path to come here, right?
Yeah.
And to stay legal, right? Because my
Yeah.
conscience didn't allow me to do other things to get legal. So that was like I chose that path to naturalization through education and work visa and green card and ultimately the citizenship through there. But got to a point where even the MBA, right? I did not go because I wanted an MBA. I'll be honest. I didn't go to get an MBA because I was like, oh, now I have a science construction degree. I want to open a construction business down the road. I need an MBA. No, that wasn't the plan. I was the first batch.
Yeah.
When if I'm not mistaken, when H1B was a lottery, right?
Yeah.
It's 2007, and back then OPT was 1 year, right?
Oh,
it's
wow.
not like 3 years now. So I didn't get selected. I have no choice but go back to school.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go back, have another construction degree.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll do an MBA. So that's how I ended up getting an MBA, right? And it was, now looking back, that was in 2000, I graduated 2010. Looking back, it was a great experience, right? Being out of school and going back. But then, as I got in this pursuit of not being happy, right, chasing, getting rid of my pain, that's when this seeking, I would say, started, to be honest. Did a lot of podcasts weren't so big then.
You did podcast?
No. Podcasts weren't so big then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But listened to a lot of audiobooks, read a lot of books, right? A lot of these classic American books on self-development and leadership, right? Went through all those. A lot of programs. So that's when it started. And at Harvard is a funny story because
Harvard is a funny story.
In a sense. So I was having this conversation with my daughter when she was probably 6-7 years old.
Okay, how old is she now?
She's about to be 12.
Okay.
And back then we used to live in Fort Worth, so the drive was rather 45 minutes or so. So we would have this, father-daughter conversations, right? And I tried to influence my daughter in a positive way. So that day the conversation was about dreaming big.
Okay.
Right. And trying to influence her to go to the best schools that colleges that she could go for 7-8-year-old, right? And I was trying to influence her to pick colleges now. Right.
And she influenced you.
No. Then so one of the things is like, I need to go to, think about MIT, Harvard, and all that. And then she asked me then, if, dreaming big, and she asked me like, hey, then, Papa, then why didn't you go to Harvard? Right? Then I didn't have an answer to her, right? So it's like I shut up and, go drop her off. But that question stayed, right? The question stayed with me, and I thought about it for the rest of the day. And then, towards the, evening, I couldn't go to bed without kind of addressing that, and I had to tell her, right? I didn't dream big enough, right? When back home, when I learned about this opportunity to come to States and I can study construction and all that, the goal was to come to the States, right? The goal wasn't, oh, I want to go to the States and go to the best university. I never even thought that I could, right? I should go to Harvard, MIT, all that. Had I thought,
you could have
at
gone.
least I had a 1% chance, maybe a 0.5% chance, right? Somebody who didn't even take SAT, but I would have 0.5% chance that I didn't even, like, when I don't even dream big enough, right?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly. So then I promised, like, you know what? God dang it, I'm gonna get into it. Right? That was the promise that I made like a few years ago. But anyway, so then I'll pull it back to YPO. YPO is a very interesting organization. It's a global organization. Headquarters is in Irving. Over, I think, 30,000 amazing entrepreneurs are in that group. And there's a chapter in Nepal too.
Oh wow! It's a global organization.
It's a global organization. So the way I got in YPO was there's gentleman back home, Razdai. When he came to the US, his very good friend is friends, family friends, or actually really family to us here. And when he came to the US to visit him, we got introduced, and we were talking about the journey, and I was I think it was like 3 years, 4 years into the business, and he said, like, you need to get into YPO.
Okay.
Right, you need to get into YPO. You'll have a peer group. You'll have all these resources, and YPO is very selective. They really vet people out.
Okay.
They don't let anybody in. There's certain, business-wise, you have to be a certain size, but also more so personally, you have to be of certain, you have to demonstrate certain,
Ability.
values.
Yeah.
Values, right? And you have to be recommended. You have to be vetted by the chapter. So Razdai actually initiated. He's the one who recommended, and there's other person, Nakimdai, also is another gentleman who really supported that down the road. But yeah, so they got me in. I got in the EP04 chapter. There's like 4 chapters in Dallas Fort Worth, or 5, and so big part of YPO is learning.
Yes.
Right. And there's a big learning network. There's a big construction network for every business. There's a network.
Oh wow.
And it's a and you have access to all these leaders all over the world. So most of the times when I go somewhere, like when I went to Spain, I reached out to the Spain chapter, and then instantly you're able to meet people there.
You have elite network.
They're just amazing and humble and very very open to add value, right? Of whatever whatever questions you have. So through YPO, of the several programs they run, one of the programs were at Harvard, and it's very difficult to get in. And one of those, I just happened to get lucky to get in, and I went there, and I'm actually going back again in July, I think, for a different program later this year.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was the whole idea behind how I got in Harvard to take that program. But it's been fun.
Okay. Yeah, fun. But yeah, it shows a lot of character and the mentality you carry, because once people are done with school, they never want to flip the pages of the books or never want to go back to school.
Yep.
But consistent learning is essential for growth, and feels like a lot of young people can take lesson there. Very important.
And it doesn't have to be like, early on, I had told myself, right, oh, you have to read this. Either you like it, you resonate with it or not. Like, I would force myself to read the book. But I got into a point where, like, if it does not resonate with me, then I put it away. There's no sense. Right?
Yeah.
There's no sense. But it's fascinating, the amount of work it takes for somebody to do the research and be expert on it and write about it in, most of the times under, 300 pages.
Yeah.
And the depth that you get on that topic, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Somebody's just pouring their lifetime of knowledge into.
Yeah, exactly. And now with like tools like Notebook LLM, where you can summarize it.
Generate notes.
Generate notes. It's audiobooks, like you name it. It's
do you read a lot of books? You sound like you.
I do, not as much as I want to, but I go through phases. I go through phases where I'm like reading a lot, and then I go through phases where I slow down. But I do read and listen now.
Do you watch what do you do for fun? Like, do you have fun time for yourself? Like, are you a movie person?
Not a movie person.
Song person.
Used to be song person growing up in Nepal. Used to play guitar, not anymore.
Oh wow.
I like to play soccer. I like to run.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to play golf right now. So there's a lot of those things. Other than that, I like to keep things simple.
Yeah.
I like to travel. I like to meet different people, different walks of lives. I like to eat. I like to drink.
have good time.
Yeah.
But I fall asleep.
By 9.
Yeah, by 9:30, I'm useless. But I wake up early, and I keep it simple.
Yeah,
I
you
keep it simple.
live a complete life, not just
I'm content.
in a
I'm
disciplined
content.
way.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of people in my network.
Yeah.
And I don't do a very good job of staying as connected I probably should. But also, the relationships that I have are genuine, I think. And,
that matters. Yeah.
Yes, and I try to be available for them, and in whatever that is, and I get a lot of joy in unlocking challenges that people have.
Yep.
And just being there, letting them know that hey, I'm there if they need, and gives a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah.
So that's what I do for fun.
I mean, you brought this up one time before. We had a meeting way back, the Zoom Google meeting.
Yeah.
What we had, and there you mentioned that you have this young guy join you for a run, and you also do soccer with young guys.
Yep.
And I don't know, but like you've made to a level in your life, and then you always see like younger people, much younger than yourself, and then they've just come to the United States, maybe just going to college that like you used to back in the days, and then maybe some of them have dreams like you, and then I'm sure like 100% of the people who listen to you or know you would take inspiration from you, a lot of inspiration from you. But how do you feel when you interact with young people who want to do things? Like, does that...
Man, I get excited.
You get excited?
Yeah. I think a lot of us, including me, we get numb, right? Just living through life.
Yeah.
But when you're young, 18, 19, 20, the whole world is like your oyster, right?
Yeah.
And you get so excited about little things, like the dreams are crazy, right? And along the way, society, people think, you shouldn't be doing this, that's too much, that's too crazy. And then you start believing on those things, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I have several conversations where people are, they see less hope on
In the
positive.
world.
Yeah, on the positive. Like, forget about the world, for themselves, right? We have to make it happen for ourselves first before we do it for others.
Yep.
So when I'm able to have those conversations and then change that outlook, right, that the future can be a little bit better than what the conditioning has been, and when you see that actually happen because you switched your mindset, you're able to switch that mindset. I mean, you're going to have to do the hard work, right? But just the fact that you can, influence the mindset a little bit, so that it could open up for the possibility that tomorrow can be a little bit better. It's not guaranteed, right?
But you can work towards it.
Yeah, it can be better, right? Not allow the conditioning to limit yourself.
Yes.
That's magic, right? That's magic. And
I mean, it appears magic when the results show up, but it takes a lot of work on your part to make it happen.
Everybody's part, right? Like I said, it's difficult. No matter what, you choose which difficult you want, which hard you want, right?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning and going to the bathroom is hard.
Yeah.
Right? You choose which hard you want.
Yeah.
Right? And again, that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah. You're 50, and you can look back, sitting at your mansion or yacht or something, and then just see, remember all the hard work that you did, and you can recall that kind of hard. Or you can be 50 and miserable, hate yourself, hate your life, and you can think of that kind of hard. So you just have to choose what kind of hard path you want to take. Right?
Yeah. Again, it depends on what you want, right?
Yes.
Who's to say wanting to have a mansion or a yacht is bad or good? It's for everybody. It's different.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Who am I to say that's wrong, or who am I to say, oh, that is the ultimate?
Yeah. No.
We pick.
No. Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Right. But the pursuit of that.
Yes.
Right. In pursuit of that.
Yes.
Nobody gets anything handed. You have to earn it.
Yep.
Right. Nobody.
The world is tough, and you gotta do your best, like stay true,
Yep. Yeah.
work hard, be humble.
Yeah, and keep at it, and do it again. Not just when people are watching you, but we know that the saying, like when nobody's watching you, right?
Yes, you are that what you
Yeah.
do when nobody's
Yeah.
watching you.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta continue to do it, and not get distracted, right? And it's okay to make mistake, right? It's okay to course correct, but you can't give up. Right? You can't give up. You give up, you're done. Simple. I mean, it's simple, right? It's
Yeah,
simple,
yeah,
but you have to live it every day,
Yes.
and you have the consistency. You need to have that consistency, and magic happens.
In between work, magic. You gotta do the work. Yeah.
It happens in the most like unconventional way.
Yeah.
Right? It happens when you're least expecting it,
Yeah.
but it happens, right? Like you said, you missed 100% of the shots
You don't
that
take.
you don't
yeah.
take. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You gotta show up. You gotta believe in yourself. Right? I mean, the fundamentals are the same. I'm not saying anything that's new or revolutionary. It's just a handful of basic fundamental things that we have to do over and over and over.
And earlier you mentioned, we got to do it for ourselves before we before we pass into the world or worry about the world. But I mean, it's a different thing to be compassionate about it, be empathetic and caring enough to not be too selfish in the
Yeah.
process. But there's a quote that you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So let's go towards your work through your philanthropic network, organization, foundation, Amaalya SK Foundation,
Yep.
if I pronounce it
Yep.
right. How did you name that? What does that foundation do? What is philanthropy for you? Let's speak about that now.
Yeah, I keep things simple, right? Again, big source of inspiration for me is my daughter. Her name is Amaalya.
Amaalya? Okay.
Yes, so it's after her name, and the next two initials are my wife's first name and my mom's first name.
Oh, wow.
So those are three women that are very
Oh,
important.
wow.
So
Yeah.
So that was
Love it,
easy. Right?
love
That was
it,
easy.
love
Yeah,
it.
that was easy. And there's a selfish plug there too, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel at least the burden of being that person in my family to leave, right? And in my mind, we're always going back, but generations after us, I'm not sure, right? Are they going to go back home, right? So it's a burden that I think a lot of the first generation immigrants live with.
Yeah.
But that's my selfish plug to put my daughter's name in it, so that she feels associated with
Yes,
the work
with the
we
cause.
do. Yeah, with the work we do, the foundation. So going back to why it exists is, there's several reasons. One of them, I asked like, why am I who I am? Who am I, and where am I, and what made the difference? Education played a big part in it, right? Growing up in a Nepal lower middle class family, but the emphasis on education, good education, for all three of us were always there. For the resources that we had, we got the best education that we can. So growing up, I never felt like I was less than anything else, right? So it's always stayed with me. But when we look at, obviously we know a lot of things going on back home, and even earlier than that, you see kids, especially kids 6, 7, 8 years old, who do not have access to education, and they truly don't believe their life can be better than where it is, right?
Yes.
Right? Like you're 8-year-old, and you can't dream that future can be better, right? And how can we change that? The only way is through education.
I was looking at the stats the earlier day. You probably know this data too, but the SE, like the 10th grade, only 50% of the students make through 10th grade.
Right.
So that's a poor
Yep.
level of education they have. Only 50% students get through grade 10. That's
Yeah.
miserable. We
Yeah.
got to do better.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And and to even take it further, even the ones who make it through SEE now, the quality of that education, right? I mean, we're good at reading, retaining information, but like even in my own experience, processing that information and making meaning out of it, right? What does it mean, right? You read, you analyze, your ability to analyze, hey, am I for it? Am I against it? What's my position? And how to have that conversation with the other person respectfully, meaningfully.
Yes.
Right, like I struggle with that. And I had one of the best education we could get in Nepal, right? Going through the school. And I think that that's the root of the fundamental, right, change that we could impact. So going back, our philosophy is pretty simple. We want to focus on foundational education. So we focus on kids between age, 4 to 13, 14, and help them get this fundamental, basic third grade level education, right? And there's, a lot of research being done about what that third grade level education means. You may be in 8th grade, but do you have that comprehension that we should have at that third grade level, right? So that's where we focus a lot right now. And Nepal is not a small country. A lot of times we introduce Nepal as a small country. We're not a small country. 30 million people is not a small country, right? And then, I don't know, 4 or 5 million students that are under, 15, 16 years old. And that's a big demographics.
Yeah.
And how to make a meaningful change, right? Not just, before, like I said, my mother, she's retired now. She was a teacher, and, for longest time, we had, sponsored students, 15, 20, 25. And I used to take a lot of pride in, we're sponsoring 25, students this year. But when you look at it from that context, and yes, we're positively impacting 25 lives, but we're not moving a needle, right? And then we go like, how do we move needle, right? How do we make an impactful, contribution to that situation? Is making a bigger contribution, right? And that's where, just like running a 52 marathons, what sounds a little bit crazy out there, that you have to be on the edge, and 1 million students sounded like a pretty good goal that I can get excited about, right? That I can rally a lot of thoughts and resource around, and so we set out on that journey 2 years ago. They said, like, what, over the next 10 years we're going to educate 1 million students back home, so that's been
that's a big goal you have set out, and
of course.
You're doing a pretty decent job with that too. I mean, I saw one of the updates you shared with your school network being expanded. So you got the foundation funds the schools directly, and
so we have several programs. So one of the things, just to make sure, we don't raise funds here. It's all our funds, but we do have like AGC is one of our contractor association. Last year, they were generous enough to say, like, hey, we contribute we find this cause and do it, and we want to be part of your cause.
Okay.
So we do have some, but by large, I don't go do a lot of fundraising and any of that. It's all, I set aside certain percentage every year, and I have a 501c here. It goes through that, and from that, it gets funded everything that we do back home.
That's amazing.
It keeps things simple. So right now we're focusing a lot. Again, I'm from Patan, right?
Yeah.
So like, all right, we're gonna start at my backyard. Right? Yeah, we have remote areas, all that, but and in Patan, in Kathmandu, there are a lot of remote areas. You'll be shocked, right?
Yes.
It's shocking. The quality of education, the challenges that they have, and one of the fundamental things are like, we don't want to run a parallel system, and we don't want to reinvent wheel.
Yep.
Right. There are a lot of people doing great things, right? Like local, regional governments have, resources. So let's understand, what they're doing, what they want to do, and our goal is to increase the quality of education, right?
Yes.
Either we do it, somebody does it, wherever the need is, that's the goal. So we started at first in Lalitpur, 3-4 schools in Lalitpur, because that's home. We know it's a lot easier to have those communications have an impact. And we also found in that process some organizations that are doing amazing work for the last few years. And because they're running out of resources, because they don't have resources, they cannot make an impact. So we're getting together with, I think it's CSN is one of those organizations that we partner with. They train teachers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they train teachers. And, one of the fundamental things was like, hey, how do we improve the quality of the education? Is like, we have to increase the quality of the teaching.
This is, you like, the other day, this was a day ago, I was talking about this. We run the National Policy Forum which we do a lot of evidence-based research. And since a lot of education-oriented research reform discussion is going back home, this was one of the evidence we raised. And there's a whole different blog we wrote out on education reform. Why increasing teacher quality is number one point.
It is.
Needs to be discussed.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's policy level, there's infrastructure things, but in a lot of these government schools, the infrastructure is there.
Yes.
Right. The basic. In some areas, there's not, but a lot of places, infrastructure is there, resources to an extent is there, but the capability on the administration and the capability of the teachers, not their own doing, the result of the system is right. Because they themselves came out with that system, right?
Yes.
Kokyo, right?
Yeah.
Ratio, you poured on you. You remember the theorems and all that, right? What's the practical implication? How to teach?
Yes, exactly.
Right?
So,
how to teach?
The teachers should be trained on how to teach. For example, if you go to American universities, then, for example, in our system, somebody who has education in mathematics, degree in mathematics, can go to become a mathematics teacher. But here you can go to university mathematics education track. That means a student attending that track is basically preparing himself to teach mathematics. So just learning mathematics and going to school to train yourself to teach mathematics.
And the application of mathematics.
And the application of
how do you connect the dots
to
the real world? Right. So anyway, so there are several organizations. CSN, we've worked with them for a couple of years now, and they have a very good program. And then we're not just like giving money, right? So we have Milan, who runs our foundation back home. He's got a great story. Okay. His name is also Milan.
A lot of Milan.
Yeah, there's a great, good guys. And so one of my requirements is we're not just gonna give you money, right? We have certain requirements that need to be met, from transparency, record keeping, and the measurement of impact that we are creating, and the baseline, right? We're not going to say, hey, we're improving teachers' education. Okay, what's the impact of that, right? And how are we creating that baseline? And we don't have the baseline, right? Unfortunately, right? We don't have that baseline to say like, okay, this kid that's going in XYZ school, what's their level, right, of development or competency compared to it, not just government versus private, even private school students, right? What is their baseline? Are they above? Are they below? Like my goal is, they're as good as other part of the world, like US, Singapore, whatever, right? But subjectively saying is one thing, but can we objectively measure and standardize, right? Right. And there's a lot of work that has to be done to say, to measure the impact of that, right? So we're spending a lot of time on that area as well. At some point, we're going to have to get involved in policy. But right now, a lot of effort is in educating, improving the quality of educators, their curriculum, how they teach, and empowering them.
That's awesome.
So that's one. And then some of the other ones that we're doing, we have Opal Dolpa and Mugu, right? So Milan, I think it was, I forget the name of the organization, so I may get mixed up, but I think it was Teach for Nepal. I think he did a fellowship, and for 6 months he went to this remote area and taught. When you say remote, like Opal Dolpa is as remote as it gets, right? Most of the times I go home, it's summer. I have not been able to go there, because of the conditions. And I've seen the conditions there. There's no infrastructure, and we're running the school there. If we don't run that school, the kids don't have a school. Right.
Well, by running the school, what do you mean? You're
we're not just educating the teachers, but like everything that they need in those two schools. We're to run the schools. We're making that happen in those schools, in those two schools, in Opodolpa and Mugu. Similarly, Sarlai, we're doing the same thing, slightly different. And around there's a fascinating one. We're in the process right now. There's another organization called Otut, and I met him when he came here in a soccer tournament.
Wow.
We just ran into each other. So he runs a very interesting soccer camp for girls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for girls. And during soccer camps, they also do life lessons for the girls.
Interesting,
right?
interesting.
In remote areas, right? They have like 300 girls.
Wow.
Right? So you start with a thought, but then, there are things that happen along the way.
Yeah.
And it's a husband and wife. Like, they don't even have basic infrastructure, but creatively, they're doing so many things to positively impact these kids.
Wow.
Right? And then being able to pull these other connections, right? And it's not rolled out yet, but those are some of the things that we're working on right now, is to how to, help them, like, hey, that connects with, I love sports in general, more so football, soccer, and more so I'm very biased towards, women and girls because I have a daughter.
Yeah.
And empowering them and making sure they're not left behind. Like,
matters to
it touches it touches a lot of the points that are very near and dear to my heart. And to see the people that are doing, and then pull from the same pool of people, resources, and make it happen.
Yes.
And that's magic. Right?
That's magic.
That's magic.
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So and there is this level of satisfaction you get, right? When you're able to dream, right?
Yeah.
When you're able to say, this is what I want to do. None of this was thought out, right? But when you pursue the journey, and when you meet these people who are dedicating their lives to improve, kids back home, and in different form or fashion, be able to, enable that, it's beyond words.
Yeah. I mean, when you start doing something and you will meet people who are doing similar work in that line, in that area, start connecting.
Yeah.
And it's always good to see that, so many people are moving with goodness and, kindness and have a positive outlook on the world, trying to make a positive impact. That itself is a very elevating message experience. I mean, how has the experience been for you? I mean, I heard you speak at the chamber event, and there was some kind of restlessness in you that persisted, even though you were successful in terms of business. But there was this deep desire in you that you should do something more fulfilling.
Yep.
To be satisfied, to be content with what you're doing. So what kind of value, satisfaction does this philanthropic work bring to you? What is the feeling you get?
Right now. Right,
You even
right.
showed the pictures, you visited one of the schools in Sarlai.
Yeah.
Right? And you described what was the scenario, the situation of students before, then the lunch program.
Yep.
And everything.
Yeah. It's funny, right? As much as we do it in terms of, we want to enable and do it for others. But in that process, you end up, at least in my case, I feel like you end up getting more back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the
paradox,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. It's very difficult to put in words, for me at least. Recently we did. There's another similar story. There's a gentleman here, Dr. Peter, who runs a school in Helambu. Right, I met him last year. Yeah, and for 20 years.
Can you imagine?
Yes,
like Helambu,
right.
for context, like that's a remote part, and you would only want to go there as a tourist for maybe stay 2-3 days. But these are people staying there, dedicating their lives there.
Exactly. For 20 years, he spent 6 months of his life. He's American, true American. Right?
Oh wow!
Yeah. Montana. He's from Montana. He's a dental doctor. For 20 years, him and his wife and some friends, they have been working with Chiringswan and doing work at Helambu, supporting the school. And like he's adopted the girls. Some of them, he brought them here, educated them, and he continues to go back, right? And he's made a movie, Helambu. So last year when I was there, I was like, how can I honor you, right? It's not even your fight. So we decided to do a screening of his movie here in Dallas. So
What's the movie name?
Helambu.
Helambu?
Yeah. It's about, the girl, right? It's about the girl, Maya. Her parents died. But anyways, it's a very heart-touching capture of the real world story. And we did the screening. We invited, some of the, local friends here and also, some of the family. We had about 100 people when we screened the movie. And to be able to share those stories, and there's so many of our friends who now are, even now thinking like, hey, I sponsor 2 kids, or now I'm doing this, right? There's so many ways to give, right?
Yep.
There's so many ways to give.
Yes.
And then you get more back than you give. The more you give, the more you get back. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
I love it. Love it for you. I mean, love it for the country. I left in 2017 myself.
Yeah.
And since then, I mean, I've been lucky enough to, come across so many people who have been doing good.
Yeah.
And been connected to a lot of people. I mean, I've met people since 2017, 18, 19, and people have remained with me as my mentors. And I like you said, I feel like I've received so much. Like I come from a lower middle class too, and a first generation.
Yeah.
And everything I've done, it's sheerly because I believe that I can do it.
Yeah.
And then community that surrounded me.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been the feeling that always drives me to always connect with people, like-minded people, just who believe in good and just achieve it, try to achieve it together.
Yeah.
I've always believed, at the highest level, it's collaboration. It's not competition.
Yeah, exactly. It's about making the pie bigger.
Yeah, it's about
It's
making
not about
the pie
what
bigger.
slice is,
exactly.
how big your slice I can. No, freaking it's about making the pie bigger. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's magical, Suman Dai, Suman Thaba, he's, and how you look at it, you, Suman Dai, and you were roommates.
Yeah.
And for context, like Suman Thapa, he's a well-established businessman among Nepalese, and you are there, and you were at some point roommates.
Yeah.
That's
we're both young, dumb, and stupid together.
And one thing that stands out about you is, despite everything, you're American. You're doing so much of good work here. You're, building infrastructures to support the economy. You're creating businesses here, creating opportunities here. You are doing significantly well in what you're doing and beyond. But then you're engaging with the community. You're giving back. You've stayed a Nepali. That's how I would like to put it. And what is the feeling of always trying to staying true to your roots? It could be, or you could interpret another way in your own language. But what does it mean to you? Being a Nepali identity.
Yeah, for me, I've always been the same. Right, I'm still the same kid, right? Who grew up playing soccer. I've just beat up with wounds all the time by diving everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And that's just been me, right? I've always been that kid. When I was growing up in Nepal, when I decided to come here, and then as I continued on my journey, right, the things that I do may be different. Back then it was playing soccer back home, and then over here it's like trying to survive, and then to get a job, and then to start a business, and then to get the going, right? The outputs are different, but the person is the same, right? Early on I used to count 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. Like now I stopped counting how many years I've been here. I've spent more time here than back home. But every time I go home, it feels home.
What do you feel like when you land in
It feels
Tribhuvan
home,
airport
man.
and
I feel like home.
that's a different feeling.
It feels like time has stopped. Right?
Right.
People are the same. Yeah, it's changed, right? But
It's
in a lot of
changed,
ways,
but
it hasn't changed.
It's a different feeling.
Yeah, a lot
when
of
you land.
we still have a lot of family, both sides of the family.
Yeah.
We're very close. My daughter speaks the language fluently.
She
She's
speaks fluent
fluent.
Nepali. Oh,
fluent.
excellent.
Her accent is also like
Nepali?
Yeah, Nepali. She pulls even some of the Chiton, slangs.
Oh, wow.
She would blow your mind, right? She's very close to cousins on both sides.
Okay.
So she calls herself Nepali, although she's born here.
You've done a good job as a parent.
Yeah, it's
Great
a lot.
job.
Actually, a lot goes to the wife, but I am there with them. So that's who we've always been, right? And we feel very blessed to be in this country.
Yeah.
Because I think this is the only place in the world where you can be American but not lose your roots.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Other places you go, I think, you're not welcomed.
Yes.
In such way. Here,
Yes.
America's been a blessing for us, our family. We've gotten more than what we've asked for without having to give. Right? Without having to lose our roots and our identity and things that are important to us.
Yes. I mean, you have given a lot. I mean, don't. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but from that context, right? So like when I go home, I feel like I'm coming home. I get excited about going home. I love spending time there. But I also, when I'm there, I miss here, right? Certain things. Still have a lot of friends.
Are your parents still in Nepal?
Yep, they're in
Have they
Nepal.
ever come to the US?
Yes, they do.
Is it?
They come. Yeah, they come up quite often.
Have you shown them around your business, your sites?
Oh yeah. My dad loves it.
What does it say?
Yeah, they're proud, right? They're proud, rightfully so. But again, we continue just like how it was.
Yep, stay real.
Yeah,
Stay real.
It's
Stay grounded.
Stay grounded and just do the things that matter to you and with the people that matter to you and just block the noise and just keep at it.
What's the future for Urban Construct?
Man, just keep at it. Yeah, staying at it. Not get complacent. Right, we're in 2 business units right now: transportation and water. Part of my job is to see how the market is shifting, where we need to be. Right, and early on, we started as a sidewalk contractor. We anticipated, where we needed to be, where the opportunities will be. So I spent a lot of time in validating those, putting plans in action and getting ready to do those things. But again, one of the fundamentals are we don't. I relate a lot business with sports, right? We don't play any sports just to participate, right? You
play to win.
You play to win, right?
Yes.
And business is the most intellectual game. Right, it's 24/7.
Yes.
Right, and we don't just participate to participate. Right, we participate to win.
Yes.
So it's as we move forward, is how do we win in these sectors that we're in, right?
Yes.
How do we become the contractor of choice in transportation, in water, and other markets that we're not in right now, but we have to be in, right? And in that process, what can we create, right? Not just the infrastructure that we build. We're going to build amazing, great things, right? But the people that we're going to touch along the way, right? The people of the community, but people in urban, right? What kind of impact we can create, right? We have folks, young guys, a lot of young guys, a lot of immigrants, a lot of dreams, a lot of hopes, a lot of aspirations. Make a meaningful impact and give them that opportunity, right? And you can only do that when there's growth. Right, when there is no growth, then you cannot do any of those things. So a lot of effort, a lot of resources, a lot of planning, a lot of execution to back it up, right? And then continue to do that. So that's the future
for urban.
urban, and continue to do that. continue to do that, not do anything stupid. And along the way we're gonna make mistakes, learn from it, and just not ponder on it, and next foot forward.
Always look up.
Yeah, always look up.
Look forward.
Look forward. Yeah, if you're gonna fall fast.
Yeah, fall
fast. Fall fast.
Yeah.
But don't dwell on it, right? But
Yeah.
act. I'm a big believer in action.
Yes.
You have to act. Once you decide, you have to act.
Bad decisions are better than slow decisions.
There is no
right?
bad decision.
Yeah.
So you just make a decision and things happen, and you just adjust. If it's
Take lessons, move
it's
on.
positive outcome, you do more of it. If it's not the positive outcome, then you
Do less,
You correct.
cut it.
You correct. Yeah, and then you keep doing.
Yeah. We're wrapping up, and we just have the rapid fire round. You just gotta be prepared for the rapid fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire back.
That is the
All right,
rapid
cool.
fire. Okay. Once you're
All right,
ready, you
let's
can
go.
take your time. Just breathe in.
No, it just like kicks in.
Yeah, you probably when you go back home with the hot water, turmeric, ginger.
No, this thing's been going on for a little bit. Something's stuck here.
Okay.
All right.
Rapid fire. Ready?
Let's go.
Tea or coffee?
And coffee.
Dal bhat or tacos?
And both.
Kathmandu Mountains or Dallas skyline?
Man, I love Dallas, but Kathmandu is home, man.
That's both.
The mountains for sure.
Construction site or office?
That's a difficult one. There's time when I enjoy being in the site. There's times where I have to be in the office, so it's difficult to pick, man.
Okay, one Nepali word that describes your journey.
Ooh. Nirantar is the word that comes to my mind. It's a word.
Continuous?
Yeah, continuous. I had a friend in high school. His name was Nirantar. So for some reason that name comes to my mind.
Nirantar?
Yeah, yes, Nirantar.
Okay.
It's ongoing.
Ongoing. Great. The app you check the most on your phone?
Yeah, it's my text message. Or WhatsApp.
Text?
Both.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, text.
Okay.
Text.
If not construction, what would you be doing?
Man, I'll be lost.
Or maybe I was thinking you would probably say soccer keeper.
Well, I blew
Football
my knee.
goalkeeper.
That didn't happen. Yeah, I'll be lost, man. I don't know what the hell. Maybe retail. Maybe you'll see a lot of these urban stores everywhere.
The one person you call when everything is going wrong.
When everything is going.
I don't hope that for you, but
Yeah.
just saying. When you're in trouble or when something goes wrong, who's the person you'd call?
And I don't think I call anyone. I internalize that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, probably. That's when I remember God a lot. I'm being honest.
Somebody's not gonna like it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Something you're bad at, you wish you're better at.
And saying thank you. I don't say thank you enough. Yeah, I don't say thank you enough to the wife, to my family, to my friends, and to all the people that has made so much positive impact in my life. I don't make a point to stay in touch with them as much as I probably need to. So I would say that.
Beautiful.
That is
Yeah.
probably a good one.
And last, what does success smell like? You gotta give a smell.
Yeah, well, it's from the smell standpoint, I'm a feel guy.
Okay.
I'm a feel guy. For me, like when you wake up at 4 a.m, right, and you get out of bed super excited, looking forward to things you're gonna do in the day, right, that's success.
Wow. Okay.
Right, like when the
So it's not achievement; it's the feeling.
No, it's the feeling. Right?
Okay.
It's all feeling. For me, it's all feeling. Every day in and day out, 4 o'clock in the morning, you pull out of your bed, super excited, looking forward to doing things.
Yep.
That you're gonna do that day.
Beautiful answer.
That's success.
Beautiful.
Yeah, awesome.
Loved it. Loved the answer. Loved the conversation.
Thank
Loved
you.
everything about it.
Yeah, I
And,
enjoyed it. Other than the occasional coughing, that's hackling. I was
No,
doing
I
really
think
good.
that was the you know the timeout. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
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 Your body impulse,
Yeah, yeah.
body signaling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
loved holding conversation with you. Thank
Likewise.
you
No, that was
again
fun.
for
Yeah, it didn't
coming
feel
to
like
the
2 hours.
podcast.
But at
Yeah,
least not to me. I know he was probably bored. to
he was
death.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome. No, thank you.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I had to go down the memory lane a little bit, but no, it was fun.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, and
Enjoyed it.
a lot of people I hope will find it inspiring.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully I didn't screw up.
No, no.
Cool. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's different. Yeah.